Hello, Aries. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aries is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. We start with a 5 of Cups. It's a little bit of disappointment, yeah. I feel like you're somebody who is very aware of your emotional life. You know, I think that you are in touch with your emotions, but I think you're someone who understands that you can't let the surface level emotions kind of cling to you, you know. We don't want to identify with them. We don't want to be overtaken by them, okay? So you're able to kind of recognize your emotions, especially the so-called negative emotions, and you're able to see them from kind of a little bit of a distance, you know, to be able to appreciate how you feel in the moment, knowing that it's not a permanent state. Okay, anytime we get the 5, we start looking around for the 4, because the 4 is going to be that emotional stability. And so the 5 of Cups seems to be more of the day-to-day turbulence of your life. But how is it affecting the deeper meaning and purpose of your life? We all have bad days, right? It doesn't mean that we're miserable. We all have moods. We all have, you know, frustrations. We all have sadness. We all have anger sometimes, and frustration, and these kinds of disappointment is another one, especially with the 5 of Cups, because the 5 of Cups kind of like saying, something should be here, but it's not. And therefore, I'm disappointed, right? It doesn't mean it's not ever going to be here. And it doesn't mean that you have given up. It doesn't mean that you've resigned. It doesn't mean that you have given your life over to despair or depression or melancholy. I think it's the recognition that I'm not feeling the absolute very best that I could be in this moment. And maybe the next moment will be better, you know? So I think we need to put some context around this card. I feel like you're able to feel all of your feelings, not be overwhelmed by them, and to be able to kind of use it as a catalyst to do it again, or try harder, or keep going, okay? So let's put some more cards around this one. We're going to use our Dove and Serpents. Oh, well, there's the abundance right there. Okay? I want you to tap the like button, claim this abundance right now. 3 of Cups. Absolutely perfect. We know in the very next moment, there is, you know, there's abundance. There's joy, jubilation, celebration, gratitude. I think gratitude is one of your favorite kind of practices, you know? There we have the 6 of Pentacles. We have the Hermit behind you. We have an Ace of Wands up top here. And we have an Aries power card in the future position. Absolutely extraordinary. I feel that real abundance is on the horizon for you. And I think it's taking more than one form. I think you're in store for some abundance of love, abundance of resources, and I feel like peace. And also an abundance of creativity, an abundance of good ideas. Okay, all of these forms. I think that there is a surprise opportunity also that's, or a gift of some kind coming your way from someone that maybe is really going to surprise you. Yeah, let's keep going. This is very nice. I'm very happy here. We have a Leo power card here with the Lust or Strength card. We have a 6 of Cups in the environment, in the position of your relationships. Your relationships are growing warmer. Friendships feel lighter. And your days grow more and more joyful. See, we started getting worried right about the Five of Cups, saying, uh-oh, we're in for a little bit of a stormy weather. That's okay. You can handle stormy weather, Aries. But guess what? Nope. I feel like the storm is clearing. I feel like this bad day you're having is over. Maybe that bad day, as the hermit might suggest, the bad day has lasted more than one day, right? It's all turning around, okay? Every sign here is pointing toward your life becoming more bright, easier, more rewarding. There's an Ace of Pentacles, and there's the 4 we're looking for. When we have the 5, we start looking for the 4. And to me, this is really your ability to, when you're having a bad day, and really the 5 of Cups and the 4 of Swords, that really is a wonderful message and very practical tool of dealing with negative emotions. When you're in kind of a tumultuous emotional state, when the surface of the water is getting kind of choppy, in the depths, things are fine. In the depths, there's still this certainty and a sense of purpose and all that good stuff, right? But on the surface, that's where you get the rough water, The 4 of Swords is meditation, breathing exercises, journaling, right? Ways in which, and those are just kind of some basic things, but other ways that you can deal with your heightened emotional state. In any given day, we might be happy, sad, angry, we might be frustrated, disappointed. You have an ability to kind of calm yourself down and say, things are going to be all right. I'm going to get through this. This is how I feel now. This isn't how I'm going to feel forever. Okay? And you're able to breathe and, meditate and sort of fortify your mind. Okay? Using the mind to stabilize the heart when the heart is experiencing some of that turmoil. So you really have wonderful, wonderful energies here. Again, to kind of recap, I feel that there is a lot of abundance coming your way. In love, in resources, in just general abundance, right? Peace, I think, a nice calm waters, yeah. I do feel that there's a surprise opportunity coming from someone that you really don't expect it. It's a gift or something that's coming your way, okay? Friendships are going to get easier, more tranquil, more connected, more deep, more loving, more intimate, lighter, more joyful, a lot of pleasure coming your way. Every sign here is pointing to your life becoming brighter and easier and very, very rewarding, okay? I want you to claim this reading. Put yes in the comments and then claim this reading, okay? Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And we're just going to set this down right over here. And who should be the guardian of the mystery card? Let's see. Well, let's go with everybody's favorite, Tiny Bob Ross. Now, we're not going to look at that happy little card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments section down below. Okay? Now, a big shout out to everybody who makes these readings and these videos part of their morning routine, their morning ritual. Okay? I see you. Let's look around the room, because the one thing we notice are the major arcana energies and the contrast between the Hermit and the Lust card. Okay? The Hermit has withdrawn from life. The Hermit is kind of sheltering from the storm in a way, right? I mean, that's kind of, you got your raincoat on, you're kind of looking for shelter, you're just trying to kind of hide away a little bit, and it's kind of a natural thing. I feel like this was the storm that has lasted maybe a few days or even longer. Contrasting that is the Lust card, the Strength card, the Leo energy. This is charisma. This is confidence. This is strength. This is passion. This is a vital, robust energy. This is zest. You're living a zesty life, And so it's a big contrast with our Hermit, okay? More socializing, more friends, more active engagement with things, more desire to be out there engaging with the world, more, it's kind of like, there's a rain Rainy days, can't go outside and play. When the sun starts shining, you're going outside and you're going to play. Okay, so this is more enthusiasm, more motivation to get out and do those things that you want to do. Okay, life really feels alive for you right now. Yeah. Anyway, hit the like button for these good vibes. Okay. We have on top of that fire, water, more water. We got a little bit of air at the end, which I think is perfect. And of course, we have our earth energies here. Now, because we have these two aces, I feel like this is a new kind of opportunity, or there's some kind of like a creative, I don't know what it is. I feel like somebody's bringing you some kind of a gift, and it really is going to set something in motion here for you. I don't know exactly what it is, okay? But it feels like you're about to begin either a new kind of project, or maybe it's like an adventure with somebody, or you're starting kind of a new hobby. Someone comes over and says, hey, I got an idea. And you say, that sounds great, let's go do it. But it's something that's going to be maybe a moneymaker. I kind of feel like it might be something that kind of it's just another way for you to create something, and it's probably going to reward you, not only in the money, but I think in just satisfaction and some joy too. It's going to be fun to do it. Okay. So the 5 of Cups and the 3 of Cups. This is really a bad day getting much, much better. And to me, it feels like even when you're having a bad day, you have a lot to be grateful for. You have a lot that you kind of express your appreciation toward. I feel like you have people around you that care about you. You got your pets, your plants, your people. I feel like you have a deep sense of purpose in your life. You're very connected with yourself, with spirit, with your environment. And I think that even when you're having a bad day, let's say you get the flat tire, let's say the weather's not that great, or, the views are a little bit low on the YouTube channel in one particular day. And shout out to everybody who's stuck around with this channel and with me here, even through all of our kind of ups and downs. We know the algorithm really is a roller coaster. Yeah, I appreciate everybody who's stuck around with this channel. And I feel like that's kind of, the 3 of Cups here is even on the bad days, you have that sense of purpose, and you have that gratitude and that love, and you're trying to be positive even when you aren't feeling all that positive. Now, this isn't just some, the power of positive thinking. No, because you know what? Sometimes, and when we're in a 5 of Cups, we're mad, sad, disappointed. That's just it. We don't have to cover up how we feel. Okay, but we can say, okay, you know what? I'm disappointed today. Today's a bad day. Things aren't going so well for whatever reason, but I still have a lot to be thankful for. I'm still very connected. I feel okay. I'm going to get through this storm. It's not the worst thing that's ever happened. And, I think that you have that ability to sort of regulate your emotions. Yeah. And it feels like you're not letting the surface waves, all the turbulence on the surface of the waters, right? You're not letting all of the choppiness up on the surface affect the deeper layers of the ocean. Yeah. I think that there is some kind of a surprise coming into your life. I don't know if it's maybe because you've been having kind of a bad day or a bad few days. That's kind of been your energy's been low. I wonder if there are people around you that are going to kind of do something very nice for you. I wonder if there's some sort of a very fun gesture being created for you. Now, I don't want to spoil any kind of a surprise party or anything, but I feel that you're in for a celebration of some kind. Now, maybe it's you're getting invited somewhere, or somebody's bringing you something, or they're visiting you, or something unexpected that really is going to kind of brighten your day. Something's going to make you smile. Anyway, okay. The 3 of Cups I think it's just a lot of love coming into your life in a lot of different forms. And it's, I think, financial. I think it's emotional. I think it's maybe romantic. I don't know. But it's coming, And I think this is the good day. This is the break in the storm. the clouds finally part, and I think the sun really is just shining on you right now. Okay? Now, under the surface, you have the Six of Pentacles. That's a card of success. This is a card that's kind of like saying, even though you're having a bad day, you know that you still have value. Maybe it's a bad day at work, right? But I think even if you're having kind of a down day, or even let's say it's, with like the YouTube views, they sometimes go down. And it's very easy to think, well, I must be bad at what I do. I must be doing something wrong here because the views are going down, right? And I think you realize that it's not that you're still bringing something very important to the table, that there is still a successful enterprise here for you, regardless of what this is. Maybe this has kind of had a day of disharmony with your friends or your family, or just with yourself, or it seems like maybe a lot of little things are going wrong, whatever the case is for you. This is the recognition that it's just something's a little bit off kilter. It doesn't mean that things are failing. Okay? Doesn't mean that things are failing. And this is also the recognition that there's I feel like you're an optimist. I feel like you're always trying to look for the silver lining. You're always looking for the light at the end of the tunnel. Okay? And I feel like you're very much able to focus on the right pathways that will lead you to the light, rather than getting too preoccupied with what's going wrong, and then you end up kind of going down the wrong pathways, So it is a little bit of the power of positive thinking, a little bit. But I think this is the way you value yourself. You understand that even on your bad days, it doesn't reflect who you are. Just because something is not working or something didn't work, maybe there was a failure, maybe there was a Seven of Pentacles somewhere, it doesn't mean you are a failure. Just because there is some disharmony or sadness or frustration or disappointment doesn't mean that you are a disappointment. Doesn't mean that you are kind of out of harmony. Okay? And I think that's very important that you acknowledge this. Even when things aren't perfect, you still are perfect. Okay? Even when you made a mistake, even when something happened and it's kind of your fault, that's okay. You have the ability to forgive yourself. Four of Swords is that card of forgiveness as well, right? Now, magic makers, let me know if this is resonating with you. Okay? I feel like this is somebody that knows what their value to the world is. Okay? In a productive way. It's kind of like if you're at work and you're having a bad day and your boss gets mad at you, that's okay. You still have value. You know that it's not a reflection on who you are. You still are able to produce. There's always days where our performance, let's say, dips. We don't meet quota or whatever, right? We don't hit our metrics. We don't do as good today as we have been doing. It doesn't mean that you've lost your value or that your worth has somehow diminished in that context. Okay? So in the work situation, you have a bad day, you didn't make any sales or whatever. Maybe you're a telemarketer. You didn't make any sales. And you kind of feel like you're worried about your job or whatever. No, your boss basically is saying, hey, it's all right. Everybody has bad days. We'll get them tomorrow. And so it feels like security in a way. It feels like one bad day does not define your worth. Okay? And think of that in the context of a job. I've had a lot of jobs where I do poorly once in a while, right? Hopefully not too often. I don't know. You got to ask my old bosses. But, a bad day here or there, a mistake made here or there, is not the end of the world usually, okay? And it certainly doesn't diminish your worth and your value. Okay, and I think I like this card, especially as it is here under the surface. Yeah. Because this shows that you recognize that you have a lot to bring to the table. Even on those days where it doesn't exactly translate perfectly, and some days are not the best weather, right? Those days happen, but you still have something absolutely valuable to bring to the table, and that's beautiful. The Hermit card in the background here does kind of show that you have been in a funk recently, okay? Hit the like button, leave me a comment if you're ready to get out of this funk, because I feel like it's changing today, okay? Give me a yes, give me a heck yes in the comments if you're ready for the blessings, if you're ready for the abundance to come in, because this is beautiful weather, right? This is really like sunshine, the water is just perfectly, I mean, this is beautiful weather. And I think that the Hermit had kind of withdrawn from things a little bit. It's kind of like when things aren't going so well, you kind of move into the background a little bit. Maybe you stopped volunteering for things, you stopped putting yourself out there, you stopped really like taking risks, and it's just kind of, I'm just going to play it safe. I'm just going to kind of, I'm going to calm down a little bit. I'm just going to go slow. I'm going to just focus on the very basic things that I have to do. It's kind of like if you're having a bad day and everything seems to be going wrong, those are days that you don't want to make any like big decisions, Those are days where you just kind of want to like, the less I do, the better, because then there's less that can go wrong, And so I feel like this is kind of a withdrawal. I feel like this was a period of time recently where you tried not to do too much because you didn't want it to go wrong, right? And so there's less innovation, there are less good ideas, there's less social interaction, there's less risk taking, okay? There's more sequestering, there's more isolation. Just kind of generally go in hermit mode. Okay. And, especially if we feel like everything we touch kind of like stops working or it breaks everything. We've all had days like that, right? Where it feels like everything we touch just seems to fall apart. I don't know if you want to blame Mercury retrograde or whatever it is, but some days it seems like everything we try to do kind of falls apart. So what do? We say, I'm not going to do anything for a couple days. I'm just going to stop touching stuff because everything I touch breaks, right? And it's like that. Like some days it'll be like that for me, where everything I do just kind of falls apart. Everything, and it's just little things. I try to turn on one of the lights and the bulb burns out. I go and I'm trying to make some food in the kitchen and I drop a plate or something, and it's just it's constantly, And that's kind of like where you just want to step back and say, I'm just going to sit here and I'm not going to touch anything. I just need to like go to bed and wake up tomorrow. It'll be a new day, And I feel like today's that new day. I feel like it's kind of, there's been a reset, there's been a refresh of your energy, and I think it's time. I think this period of your life is ending, and a lot of abundance. Big blessings are coming. And the Ace of Wands up at the top here, this is like a surge of really good ideas, right? We have a lot of like fire, earth. We've got fire here as well. And so I feel that, even between the major arcana, we have earth with Virgo, fire with Leo. So I feel like you're moving into a very creative period of time right now, okay? And also, hey, a big shout out to all the parents who are watching these videos while their little ones are napping, okay? Shh, we'll be quiet. I feel like there is a surge of this, there's a visitation of energy happening right now, yeah? And it's kind of like now, every idea you have is gonna work, And because the Five of Cups here is kind of saying, yeah, everything I touch falls apart, but now you have fire and earth. Ace to a 6, a good idea to a success. Now everything you touch is going to succeed, right? Because the ace is the idea. Oh, hey, I'm going to make a sandwich. Boom, sandwich on a plate. It's delicious, perfect sandwich, right? Or, hey, I got an idea to go do something, right? And then you go and you do it, and it's just like everything works with you. I feel like you're getting back in harmony with the process of creation. That's what the 6 is, being in harmony with the process of creation on the physical plane. The 5 of Cups is disharmony, being out of harmony with the process of creation on the emotional plane. Okay? We're disappointed in something, disappointed in ourselves. It's going to pass. Okay? And now that it is passing, I think that you have to then follow these pathways, follow these good ideas. Okay? Let me know in the comments what some of your good ideas are right now, or what you're working on, or what you're going to sort of leap into. Because I feel like right now you're shifting into that season where everything you touch is going to just light up. It's just, everything's just going to turn to gold. All of your ideas are like creative gold right now. Okay? And so basically Spirit's way of saying, do more. Do more. This is the season where you can pump out the success. Hermit mode, no, we withdrawing. Maybe you've been doing a lot of meditation, just a lot of soul searching, a lot of processing, a lot of internal spiritual work. I want you to claim this reading. Let me know that you are ready, right, for this surge of creative energy. Okay. I'd like to welcome all the new subscribers, especially everybody that kind of got here because their friend recommended the channel. I think like word of mouth is so important, especially on YouTube, and I really appreciate all of you who share the videos and tell a friend. Okay. The power card, your superpower card in the future position, the Knight of Wands, fire on fire. The horse and the rider are one unit leaping forward with no hesitation. Because what is the Five of Cups? Well, it's going to be hesitation. If you're feeling a Five of Cups, this is like you're kind of iffy about your will. You're kind of iffy about your idea, and guess what? The horse doesn't trust the rider doesn't trust the horse, and we all fall down. Okay? So you can't really leap ahead with gusto, with zest, with fiery confidence, with motivation. Because the Five of Cups is saying, I'm not really sure of myself. I'm kind of having a bad day. It seems like everything I touch isn't really going to work out. So you know what you do? You don't touch anything. You let this energy pass. When you're in this kind of a state, this is not the type of energy with which you want to try to like do magic, trying to manifest your will, trying to cause change and conformity with your will, because it is going to be altered and changed and corrupted by your emotional state. Okay? Because what does fire and earth do? It transmits from the divine realm, the realm of ideas, from the heavenly realm, from your soul and spirit, fire to earth, to manifestation, to physical reality, to the four-dimensional reality. And for the fire to get to earth, right? For fire to get to earth has to go through what? Well, water and air. The human heart and mind. Okay? You need a conductor of that electricity. The conductor is the magician card. And that is your heart and mind. It's your psyche. It's your soul, right? Your soul is bringing the fire from spirit down to the realm of earth. And of course, if anything is blocking that signal, like a Five of Cups, like an emotional turbulence, this manifestation is not quite going to look right. You might end up with a Five of Pentacles, or a Seven of Pentacles even, right? What you want is a clear channel. You want something that's going to conduct that electricity in the right way, that spiritual current. So we're basically waiting. Basically, it's saying, when you're in a negative emotional state, don't try to do magic. Just kind of, go hermit mode and just do your internal work, do your journaling. And it doesn't mean isolate. Okay, it doesn't mean to withdraw from the world and run away from the world. No, what it means, kind of focus on yourself and do the self-care, do that internal work. And then when your emotions are kind of cleared and we're in this kind of pure heart phase, that's going to be a perfect conductor of this spiritual electricity. And that's when it's Spirit saying, get back to it. So something is happening in your life right now that's going to change your emotional state to one of real, just like abundance and love and gratitude. And in that emotional state, that's when you're being told to leap into all sorts of new things. Start as many new activities, new projects, new relationships, new businesses, new hobbies, new sports and skills. Start a new language, start a new civilization, I don't know. Build a new world. Now's the time to do all of that stuff. Leaping forward with no hesitation. Because this is going to cause you to hesitate. And when you hesitate, you're going to falter and fumble. Okay? So anyway, Path of the Serpent. Now, please subscribe to this channel if you're ready for this abundance. Hit that subscribe button. Your general energy now becomes the lust card, the strength card, the confidence. This is someone who's capable. This is someone who feels like everything they touch turns to gold. This is somebody who can reach up into the night sky, pluck out a star, put it in their pocket. Okay? This is somebody that knows their magical energy. Somebody that can wield their power, has harnessed their power. Yeah. And this is vibrant energy. It's passion. You know, it's motivation. It's discipline. It's not just unbridled passion. It's passion and enthusiasm and motivation that's been channeled into very disciplined, pathways. This maybe is like unbridled enthusiasm, but now you've bridled it, okay? And you've applied it to certain things with focus, with discipline. I think this is also, literally like we're getting back into the social scene, we're getting back to family and friends, we're going and we're doing things, we're taking risks, we're trying, we're out there, right? Drop a flame emoji in the comments if you feel this fire now, okay? Because this is just like we're chomping at the bit. Can't wait to get out there and do something. Whatever it is, whatever you do, whatever your life's about. And I feel like this is a lot of things, okay? I feel like this is love. I feel like this is career. I feel like this is life. This is you feeling alive again, ready to exert your energy outwardly. Whereas here with Hermit, it's kind of saying, focus inward, deal with what you got going on, This is now focus on the external stuff that you're trying to build and create. The projects, the relationships, the life, right, that you're trying to build. Yeah. Subscribe to the channel, lock this in, okay? Your Six of Cups is in the position of the environment. Well, this is a card of community. This is the card of healthy love relationships, intimate relationships, not just romance, all right? Put your pitchforks and your torches away. But then again, you do have a torch here. I think Spirit is illuminating a lot of your relationships, and I feel like they're getting warmer, brighter, lighter, more connected, more intimate. Friends, family, your pets, your plants, your people. Romantically, platonically, whatever it is, even coworkers, right? This is you feeling as if you're part of a valuable kind of community. It literally, to me, is the card of community. People are valued for their own sake, not only for what they bring to the table. See, this both sixes here. You are valued for what you can do. You're valued for what you can contribute. You're valued for your contribution, right? For your production. You're also valued for who you are. You're valued unconditionally because we love you. It doesn't matter how much money you make. I love you. And that's what this is, and those are the kinds of relationships that Spirit is highlighting for you right now. More of these relationships are coming into your life. The relationships you have now are going to be very much emphasized in this way, okay? And it's your job to sort of emphasize it too with the people that are in your life. And maybe share this entire reading with somebody that you think needs to hear this. That you are loved, not for how much money you make, not for like how fast you can run, I don't know, but for who you are. You're valued for the love. It's like the love in your heart is connecting with the love in somebody else's heart. Has nothing to do with superficial appearances or money or any of the material things. You have those things too. You're a beautiful person, you're successful, you have money in abundance, you can earn money, you have good ideas that you can then build stuff. Okay? The superficial stuff, yeah, it's there, but there's depth too. Okay? There's depth too. Drop a heart emoji in the comments, please. Let's light up the comments here with some positivity and some love. And a big shout out to everybody that does the super thanks. I can't tell you how supportive that is to me. And I really appreciate that. Yeah. I'm humbled. Anyway, the community is absolutely important. And I think the hermit, in a way, is kind of, kind of like, I feel like you're somebody that tends to keep their bad moods to themselves. You know, you're not out there kind of sharing it with everybody or trying to bring everybody down. You're kind of just like, hey, I'm having a bad day. I think I'm just going to stay home today and like have a cup of tea and take a hot bath and kind of, just relax a little bit and stay in my bathrobe, And that's a good day. And that's a good day. And of course, you don't want to make that every day because then it becomes unhealthy, becomes isolation, right? So I think it's important that you take that time. Now, when I'm in a bad mood, I don't want to do anything. I want to stay in bed. I want to watch TV. I want to stay in my bathrobe. I want to take a hot bath. I want to drink hot tea. I want to be alone. I want to be cold. I don't know. I like cold. But then, it kind of passes. You deal with it. It takes a couple days, and then we sort of we pull ourselves out of that. And then it becomes all warmth and love, and I want to get dressed up. I want to go outside and do things, go to the park, go to the mall, go to the bookstore. Books. I love bookstores. Oh my gosh. Let me know in the comments how much you love bookstores. I could spend all day in a bookstore. My favorite thing to do is to go to a bookstore, take a book off a shelf, get a cup of coffee, and sit in the bookstore reading a book and sipping on a cup of coffee. That's my most favorite thing to do. Just the smell of a bookstore makes me smile. Once I'm in there, you can't drag me out of that place. Anyway, Ace of Pentacles in the position of your fear, worry, concern, or the obstacle. I think the obstacle or the fear here is that, like, when you're in hermit mode, it's kind of like, I don't know when I'm going to take the next step. How do I begin the next path? And it's kind of like this is something that really could affect us when we're in hermit mode. Because eventually we have to go out of hermit mode and take the next step and get inspired and do something here. We can't stay in hermit mode forever. Because the hermit mode in this case is not moving, not taking any steps at all. Okay? But you're going to. You're going to take another step because there's an inspiration coming your way. There is a good idea that you have, or somebody is bringing you an opportunity to take a new adventure, and I think that it really lights you up. Okay, and I think that we're going to be, maybe part of this is kind of almost like a creative blockage. Okay, or we're in a bit of a funk, maybe just in life or creatively speaking. I feel like something is happening very soon with this other person, and I don't know who they are. I almost feel like they're an Aries too. Yeah, do you have a friend that's an Aries? I feel like through that person, you're being inspired. Okay, now maybe it's not their idea exactly, but something that they bring to you is inspiring you and is kind of kicking something else off in motion. It's getting the ball rolling somewhere else, okay? Tell me if this resonates. Yeah. your inspiration here is being facilitated by this friend. And it's going to set in motion a whole new current of creative work, of abundance, of love, of manifestation for you. Okay? And I believe that this is the moment where we're shifting from this 5 of Cups hermit mode to a very, 6 of Cups, strength mode, enthusiasm mode. Yeah. I like the 4 of Swords here because it is showing that your heart and your mind are stabilized. Your heart obviously is harmonizing here. So I think that in terms of our spiritual electrical circuit of creation, your heart and your mind are now perfectly aligned as perfect conductors of that spiritual electrical current of creation. The 4 of Swords is, in a way, it is kind of positive thinking. These are all the conscious things that you do when you are in a funk. Now, maybe you can share some of those. What are some things that you like to do when you're in a funk? General funk. Doesn't have to be anything specific. What do you like to do? I know there's journaling, meditation, breath work. I like to be alone. I like cold. I like to maybe go to a bookstore and sit alone with a little book and a cup of coffee. That kind of makes me feel better. What are some things that you can do that kind of make you feel better in a healthy and responsible way, so that we can try to stabilize our internal environment, and then we can get inspired again, So the 4 of Swords to me is a series of tools. It's a set of tools, or a series of habits, I guess, that we can employ when we are in any kind of a heightened emotional state. Now, let's look at the mystery card. There's a good chance this is going to be another 5 of Cups, or even something worse, okay? So be ready for that. So it's kind of odd, right, that we're ending with the 4 of Swords. So I wonder what Spirit's trying to tell us, or what Spirit's preparing us for. Spirit might be saying, hey, don't think that there's never going to be any more bad weather. Because there's going to be bad weather again. But guess what? You've learned what you need to do to get out of that bad weather as quickly as possible. Highlighting the gratitude, the community, the friends, the pets, plants, people. Okay? Those tools that you can employ when you really need to. And I think maybe it's a combination between sequestering yourself, fortress of solitude, and then also re-engaging with your community. Maybe you need a day or two by yourself. And then you need to get with your friends and family and just like kind of get back into the love, So if you have a prediction for this card, I want you to put it in the comments down below. Let's see what we have. It's a Queen of Wands. Now, this is like, the queens always deal with the endings of things, right? And the Queen of Wands, quickly. Something's over, quick. Okay? It's like a Band-Aid that just gets peeled right off. So to me, it's telling me that you recover from a disappointment, a bad day, a flat tire, a bad mood, any kind of a calamity, a surface level turbulence on the waters. You recover from those things quick. That you're able to deal with it, and maybe you just kind of, a bad day happens, you shut down for 5 or 10 minutes or a day or two, and then you're right back at it. You go to the bathroom, you cry, you scream into the paper towels or something, and then you're right back in it, fresh and vibrant and ready to go. To me, it feels like you're very, very good at recovering from the calamities, the disappointments, the sadness, the sorrows, the kind of heartbreaks of life, the flat tires. Yeah. So I like this. And that's what the queens are all about. Now, if this was a Queen of Cups, it would be slow. It would be like it takes you a long time to kind of deal with all those feelings, and you sit there and linger in the feelings for a long time, right? But no, the Queen of Wands is like done, ready to go. I'm fine. It's over. It's done. It's behind me already. Okay? So this is very, very good. And so it's telling me that maybe this funk, as we're calling it, maybe it hasn't been that long. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link in the video description. New readings for Aries on Wednesdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.